There she is, Mackenzie Dern. How are you?
Hi, Ariel. I'm good. How are you?
Thank you so much for the time. So I see you're a little beat up. Is this the most damage you've ever had on your face on the Monday after a fight?
Yeah, for sure. I never really had this much. So, didn't try to put makeup, anything. You guys saw my fight. So, I think it's like good to see, and then I tried my best.
Yeah, I think it's important to see. How do you feel about it? Like, do you feel comfortable with these, like the cut on the lip and the black eye?
No, I want to put my glasses on. But no, it's okay. I know it's part of the game. Like I say, my goal is to try to go in there with the less amount of damage as possible. But man, I tried to be striking with her, so I knew that like I could get punched in the face. So it's part of it.
So on Thursday, when we spoke at the media day, I asked you about if you had any nerves, if you're the kind of person who gets nervous. You said that not really, and quite frankly, you said that you kind of rise to the occasion on the big stage. You prefer fighting on the big stage. But now that it happened, now that you were in the locker room, T-Mobile Arena, Bruce Buffer saying your name, pay-per-view, all that stuff. There's a big crowd, right? You're the headliner for FS1. Were you more nervous than usual? How did you feel in the closing seconds before the fight?
Man, I swear it felt so normal, felt so relaxed, felt just like I was ready to be. I didn't like hear the people. Like I felt Bruce was talking with me, like when he was saying my name, but I was just looking at Ashley, like trying to focus on what I want to do. Like I felt like I was meant to be there. I didn't feel any nerves at all. So the whole like UFC like jitters or the
Yeah.
butterflies, I didn't feel anything.
Wow.
Felt great to be there.
Have you watched the fight yet?
No, I haven't.
Is that on purpose or you just haven't had time?
Just haven't had time, just trying to spend time with my family. Like my phone's just going off, so I turn everything off, trying to like take my mind. After I'll probably see I'll go to watch, but um I'm excited to see like just how it was to be fighting with Ashley, because I felt like a little bit hard to get some distance sometimes. So I want to see like if I was moving my feet on the fight, like the little things from the
Yeah.
pictures that I see. Sometimes I see my head is down a little bit, when I'm punching, just kind of like go. So I'm excited to go back and do the homework and see what I need to get better at. But right now I'm just having time taking my mind off the fight and spending time with my family.
Based on what you remember, are you happy with your performance or do you feel like you could have done better?
That's like a mix, because I'm like very I always say I don't feel too much the pressure from other people, but I put a lot of pressure on myself. So it's back and forth. Like I'm happy with my performance. I think it's always better for me to fight um 3 rounds, go through the 3 rounds now than to have never been through 3 rounds and go to the belt and have to get pushed to 5 rounds and oh my gosh, this never happened before. So I think the time in the ring, there's nothing better than experience like that. Um of course, I wish I got the submission on the end, like I tried to, but it didn't have enough time. So I feel really happy that I was able to do like standing up and like practice my stand up and do like takedowns and ground and cage work. Cage was something I really wanted to work on. So I really tried to not be my back on the cage too much and be able to control the cage better. So there were so many things that I'm happy with my performance, but then at the same time, when I see like my black guy, I think like, man, maybe if I would do the takedown and go to the back in the first round, maybe I would finish, and be done, and maybe that would have been better. But so it's like back and forth, like okay, if I would have really tried to take down on the first round and maybe got the choke in the beginning, maybe that would have been better than to stay and try to stay standing up. But I think was good too at the same time. So I don't know, it's like both. I think it was a great first fight. I'm happy with the performance. So it can go either way. I'm not too like, oh, I wish I got the submission in the first round. I think also too I had like not a struggle on the weight cut, but a lot of people were like nervous about my weight cut and thinking that, oh, like she's not gonna recover good. So I think the fact that if I would have submitted fast, they say, oh, like she's lucky that she submitted fast because otherwise she wouldn't have handled the whole. Like I had the weight cut and I still went the 3 rounds and like of course, I had some knees to the stomach, so I got a little tired, but I was okay with my cardio. I felt good, on each round. I felt okay, so I think it was good to show, like, man, okay, I had a weight cut. My weight cut for 115 is always hard. I felt good during the 3 rounds, so I think it's good for people to believe a little bit more in me.
Well, since you bring it up, I have to ask. You were the last one to weigh in, and we waited for you for a few minutes, and but it made for great drama. Everyone was wondering, if you were going to show up. So I appreciate the theater. But how difficult was the cut? Were you nervous at all that you may not make 115 or 116? Actually, you had the you had the 1 pound allowance.
No, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't nervous. Like, I think you get to a point where, you in your mind you don't really like understand how bad you are or how good you are. So I had like 3 pounds left one day before. I think around like 9 p.m. So in my mind I was like, okay, no, oh no, I'm sorry, 2 pounds. I had 2 pounds left the night before. So in my mind I was like, no, I'm gonna make 116. My manager called me, like was like stuff was happening. I didn't even know what was happening, So like, man, no, I'm just gonna go back to the sauna and lose my weight. And then the morning, they did that little sauna, little room sauna thing. It's
Yeah, yeah.
like a new thing. They took that to the room and they did that. So the whole time, I don't know if maybe because I was so like just I want to get this over with. Maybe I didn't realize really how close I was, But I went there and like I waited on the check one with no clothes, and then I was 116, and then they put on the little like bikini, the top and the panties. And then they went and they said, okay, you can go with the outfit, So I said, okay, like it's better than to have to do the
Sure,
thing,
sure. Yeah,
So
yeah. The hoop of
I was
shame.
happy.
Okay, so that's what I like to call it. And I think they should use it for the men, by the way. I don't know why they just use it for the women, but that's neither here nor there. That's not your problem. Um, it was amazing to watch the closing seconds because we know how good you are on the ground. And it looked like you didn't have your arm under her chin, but still, we've seen some people tap to that just given the pressure on the chin and the neck. Did you think that you had it close?
Yeah, really. Like a lot of people tell me about that, like, oh, it's on the chin. Man, like I know from all the chokes I do, like, man, we have the air choke and then we have like the blood choke, And the air choke is usually what they're defending when they put their chin down. Even like my last with Mandy Polk at 125, she had her chin down. But with Ashley, I could feel like I was squeezing on the sides, like I wasn't squeezing here. So I felt that she was like breathing, but I was feeling her like more that she will pass out than to be out of breath, like cut the blood off, like they fall to sleep, So they have two different types of chokes, They have the one that the people can't breathe and like stop to breathe. And then they have the ones where they don't feel it. And then when they see, they just pass out, So I was feeling like was really tight. I was squeezing more like to the sides. And, I was just like trying to go like, man, I hope she taps. I wasn't thinking how many time was left. I knew it was close to the end. My last fight with Kylie Medeiros, I got the submission like 15 seconds left. So I was like hoping that that was going to happen again. But she was able to release the pressure and everything. So it was a good fight. I'm excited. I'm happy with how it was.
Um, was she tougher than you expected her to be? She did, it seemed, drop you very quickly in the middle of the fight. Were you expecting her to be that tough? And how hurt were you when she dropped you?
Uh, no, not she wasn't like tougher than I expect her to be because I knew she was gonna be tough. She wasn't. I didn't think she was gonna be easy fight. But for sure she was like a little like not longer than I thought, but I did have like more trouble to understand distance and to like I don't know, to believe like in my takedowns and stuff. Like sometimes I was thinking to go to takedown and I saw her like lifting her knee up, like, oh, if you go, I'm gonna do a knee to your face, So I kept thinking like, maybe I'll stay more standing up a little bit longer, And so in just sometimes like okay, now I'm gonna go to do the combination and then she would hit me first, So like, oh, okay, I need to keep my leg outside her leg, like some so little things like that, But she was tough, just like I thought she was gonna be. I know she wasn't gonna, uh, you know, be like scared to fight or anything. Like I said, she came from some losses, so I know she had like the fire in her eyes to win. And honestly, like the when I fell down, I don't remember. I don't
Okay.
remember like when my coaches they always tell me like the punches that hurt us are the ones that we don't see coming, And I really didn't see where it came from, Like when I saw it, I was just on the floor and say, okay, get up, So I got up fast. I didn't really like know if it was a punch or it was a side or what it was, So I just feel like she didn't like come at me, when I was on the ground when I came up. So I was able to like recover fast. I didn't feel pain or anything, it was just like a click, So I felt like, okay, good. Let's get back into the fight.
To me, it was pretty clear that it was 29-28 for you, although it was a split decision. How nervous were you when you heard her name, when Bruce Buffer said her name when he was reading the scorecards?
Uh, I was surprised, but I wasn't nervous, because I know like if you leave to the judges' hands, can be anything, and especially like when I'm fighting, and like my coaches, each round I asked my coach like, did I win this one? Did I lose this one? And they said to me like, the first one you won, okay. The second one they say, okay, it's 1-1, and then the third they say, okay, you need to win that one. But sometimes I think, oh, maybe the coaches, they like not on purpose, but maybe they're biased, like maybe they think like with emotion, so I don't think like, if when I heard they gave splits, they're like, okay, maybe it'll be to her. But I wasn't nervous, like I said, like I want to be undefeated. I want to win everything, but I know it's a part of the game too, like to lose, I try my best. Um, it wasn't like scary for me. I just think like, okay, let's hope that they choose was me.
Was your dad at the fight?
No.
Did he watch it?
Yes, he did watch it. Yeah.
What did he have to say about it?
He's scared. Yes, he's a little scared, like, whoa, that was scary, but he's happy about it, he's waiting for me to get back to Arizona to go see him. So, but really that's the whole thing. I think like everyone asks me about him, but he's been my coach for so many years. We really just want to like preserve the relationship of father and daughter, and I think just my whole weight cut, like you're kind of tripping out a little bit. So many sauna, you're saying things you don't really know what you're saying. And to see me like go through a fight where maybe I get knocked down, and have to fight out of it and stuff. That stuff is kind of like, I don't know if a father wants to see that all the time, So I
No.
think it was good that he saw that from his couch with my family there, with the dogs, all comfortable.
Oh my gosh. I have a 1-year-old daughter. She like slips and just like falls, and I like have a heart attack and run and hold her. I can't imagine seeing her get punched in the face and the black eye and all that stuff. Is it fair to say that he would prefer that you didn't do this for a living?
Oh yeah, for sure. My dad is definitely like, and he supports me, but Ariel, if you see us like at lunch or something, he'll be like, so you should go compete jiu-jitsu next month. Always like trying to do a little, clues to get me to stay in jiu-jitsu. I say like that. I have MMA fight, coming up. This that. He said, oh okay. He definitely doesn't want to see his daughter getting punched.
This experience, though, did it reinforce your love and interest in MMA? Because the question is always, are you going to stick with MMA? Are you going to go full on with MMA, no jujitsu, all that? Did this reinforce that for you? That decision?
For sure, for sure. Like when I was like going back to think my post that I want to post like on Instagram, like to thank everyone and just to feel like to share how I felt, like really was like, man, I felt like I was meant to be there, like I know that each fight I will be a better fighter, like really enforce like, yeah, this is what I'm meant to do. I made the right decision to stop jiu-jitsu now and focus on this, so I'm excited for the next fight. Hopefully I can be like UFC in Rio. I'm like ready to get this black eye away and come back to training.
So you did say that on Thursday that you want to fight on the Rio card May 12th. Is that still what you want?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Def-
Do you have an opponent in mind?
no, no,
Okay.
I don't.
You just want to fight anyone.
Yeah. No, not anyone. Like,
Sure, sure, sure.
not, but someone, like that, the next level, just keep,
Exactly.
the process going. Definitely.
And you know what's so crazy about, and it all went well and you win and everything, but again, this sort of infatuation with your accent continues because here's George Gurgel who comes in, the translator. Now I've gotten more questions about the translator being in the cage at the end of the fight than anything that you did in the fight. Like, people are like, why does she need a translator? Why? From my understanding, I'd love for you to speak on this. You didn't ask for him to come in. I think he just came in because he wanted to help you, and Rogan went to him. You didn't need the translator there. You didn't ask for him. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know if people thought that I asked for him. I didn't ask. I didn't ask for the translator. I didn't
Oh,
ask like before the fight. I didn't ask after. I didn't like Joe was telling me like even to take out my mouth protector, you know. So I was finished the fight, have my mouth protector in my mouth, you know. Like I didn't even remember I had the thing in my mouth. So for me, when I saw the translator, like I don't know, obviously, but I have a lot more fans in Brazil than I have the USA. So for me, my first, I when they brought the translator, I thought that they wanted me to speak Portuguese for all the fans, you know, and him to translate for everyone in the US, you know, but just for me to speak to everyone in Brazil, you know, too, both and
yeah, yeah,
both,
yeah.
you know, not to understand what he was asking, you know. I thought that they just wanted me to be able to speak to all my
Sure,
fans in Brazil, you know, like because I finished the fight, I didn't get to say anything to anyone in Brazil, you know, like you know, so it was when I saw, I thought he just wanted me to speak Portuguese for everyone in Brazil, not because I couldn't understand the question,
yeah.
you know. So
It's
I
crazy.
thought it was more like a fan thing than me speaking Portuguese. So when I asked, I said like, "Do you want me to speak English or Portuguese? I don't know which one you want to say." You know. Then Joe read that. Oh, I think she understood. Then I said like, "Okay." So I was not confused, but I didn't understand what was happening either. You know, I don't
Sure.
know what people thought that I asked for the translator. I didn't ask.
Well, I'm happy we cleared that up, and it's understandable. You were just in a 15-minute fight, so it's okay to be confused. But it's just amazing how people are nitpicking this sort of thing with you. It's crazy. Last thing for you, Mackenzie, and again, thank you so much for the time. I know Dana White was there. I know Ari Emanuel, who's a co-owner in the UFC, was there. Any of the the big bosses come up to you afterwards and talk to you about how much they like the fight, having you on the roster, things like that?
No, I mean, I got like messages from Mick and Sean. You know, I know them from even the beginning when I first started MMA. They've always been supporting me, so they send me messages just saying like was a really good job and that they hope to see me soon. Um, and that's about it, you know. So I know like the card had so many great fights, like Brian Ortega, his knockout. Sugar Sean, he had like such a good fight, you know. They had so many great highlights this card, you know. So it was just good to be part of it and to finally get the whole debut out of the way and
Yeah.
everything.
Well, it couldn't have gone better. You passed with flying colors. Congratulations, Mackenzie. It was a real pleasure to watch you finally in there after all this time talking about it. Enjoy the victory. Enjoy your time off. I hope you heal quickly, and hopefully you get that fight in Rio. That'd be really cool to see.
Yes, thank you so much, Ariel. Always great to talk with you.